The naming of express trains is a tradition going back to the earliest days of the railways. In the 1950s, the Western region's principal expresses were the Cornish Riviera Express, serving the West Country, and the Bristolian, serving the Great Western Railway's raison d'etre, Bristol. In 1958, the railway roundabout cameras went to Bristol's Bath Road locomotive depot to see the train being prepared. 10 years after nationalisation, Great Western traditions were still paramount, with train reporting numbers on the smokebox door, the coats of arms of the cities served, London and Bristol, on the headboard, and Castle-class 460s powering the train. The driver's name on the cab side was an innovation in 1958, but was only in use for a short time during that year. This film serves to show just how much preparation was needed for a top-link express locomotive in the days of steam. It was the driver's responsibility to ensure that all oil reservoirs were filled, known as oiling round. This also involved going under the locomotive to deal with inside valve gear and cylinders. As befits a prestige train, the engine was one of the latest of its type, a Castle-class built after the war. It sported a flat-sided tender of the Hawksworth pattern, which was filled with water before moving off to collect its train. This engine, number 7018 Bristolian Castle, was one of the first two to be fitted with a double chimney and exhaust and allocated to the Bristolian. Preparation of the train also involved the guard. At the carriage sidings, we see the guard bring the tail lamp to the back of the train. His next job is to record the carriage numbers and to do the weights, noting the weight of each coach and the makeup of the train. Meanwhile, the yard carriage examiner ensures that the accumulators are full, brakes are working, and so on. Inside the train, the restaurant car staff prepares tables for afternoon tea as the train ran after lunch. The guard affixes seat reservations to the seat backs, most stock being of the compartment type. With the engine coupled on, the guard gives the driver the weights. For example, 10 for 350 means 10 coaches weighing 350 tons. The train ran into Bristol Temple Meeds station from the southwestern end. The coaches were mostly the most recent British Railways standard type, but painted in the Great Western livery of chocolate and cream, used from 1957 on the Western region's named expresses only. Headlamps over each buffer indicate an express passenger train. An 82A on the small oval plate on the smokebox, a Bristol Bath Road locomotive. The fire is built up to the firebox door in true Great Western fashion, and the train is ready for a prompt departure. A special camera mounting was used for shots of the locomotive at work from the cab. This was clamped to the cab side sheets. Inside the train, afternoon tea is served. The dining car was an original Great Western vehicle in this train, and uniformed attendants still gave silver service. The train ran via Filton on the Paddington route through Swindon and Reading to London. It was the only train booked to run at 100 miles an hour in the 1950s, and as such, quite a celebrity. Inside the train, a first-class passenger could relax, whilst the guard, a man at the top of his profession and still sporting the full Great Western gold-braided uniform, checks tickets. In this instance, a young family with second-class tickets, third class was upgraded to second in the late 1950s, were found in a first-class compartment. At speed, there was considerable vibration on the footplate. Filming for this feature took place over 5 days. On the Friday, line-side shots were taken and resulted in this view of a king on the Bristolian. The Great Western's heaviest express engines were used on Fridays when the train weight was increased for the weekend. Inside, the guard makes up his log. All trains were recorded in this way, information on running being compiled from this data together with signalmen's logs in the age before computers. Finally, we run into Brunel's great masterpiece Paddington station, passing pilot engines. From the platform, we see the other double-chimneyed castle, Earl of Mount Edgecombe, arriving with the Crack Express. A good job, well done.